Kevin, obviously Friday night hurt. How's it been since? Because you'll be looking for reaction.
Yeah, it did hurt. It hurt a lot. You know, my missus described like it'd been a death in the family when I got home, and in my office when she come down to see me. And it was. It felt like that. You know, we've worked so hard over the pre-season, trying to get things right. But it just nothing clicked on Friday. You know, and all we can do is put it right, and that's what we've been doing. You know, we spent a real good few hours after the game in our office, reviewing the game right away, seeing what we could do, because we knew we had to act fast, because we didn't have enough time really to have a week to work on things and stuff and see where all the problems lie. And it weren't just one person who was poor on Friday night. We all take responsibility. We were all poor within our decision making and what we did, and it's not acceptable by any of our standards. And we're hoping to now, you know, put that behind us and start afresh and get back to what we are about and what we want to do. And it starts against Newport on Tuesday, which is going to be a real difficult one, but everyone is in this league. So yeah, I just can't wait now to see what we've been putting into action in the last few days and what we've been talking about and being honest about as players and staff. If we can turn everything around so quickly. But it's going to be a slow process, I know that, because you just don't go from one extent to the other. But one thing I know is that the lads are all stuck together. They're all in it together. They all realise what we've got to do now to sort of get to back where everyone thought we would be at the beginning of the season, and that's what, you know, one of the favourites for this league. I'm not really worried about what anyone else thinks. I'm worried about what my players and what we think and what we believe in. And if we do that and we stick together and we continue to work hard, I'm sure we'll get the reward in the end.
You mentioned that you and your staff looked at the video sort of straight away while it's fresh in your mind, I suppose, which must have been difficult to do in the first place. But do you show the players as well? Have you been through it with the players, or is it just one that you kind of put to one side and move on with the players?
No, well, we didn't show them on Saturday morning. We had a sort of discussion just to see how they felt about everything, what they did wrong. You know, it was a scheduled day off, but we thought it was something we had to do, something what I've done and drawn previous experience at other clubs, which I've done. You know, nothing. It's sort of an open conversation to see where we can, you know, how we can sort of get things right and what we did wrong. After reviewing the tape, we realised how much we got wrong and how, and for us, we feel that it's easy fixable, but it's easy saying that. They've got to go out and prove it and do it, and we've all got to do that on Tuesday night. You know, everyone's got to take ownership of what happened on Friday night. Me at the top of that, because that, you know, they're an extension of me, my staff, my players. Well, you know, we've got to. But one thing I will never do is shake away from a fight, and this is what we're in now. We've got to fight our way back and get back to what we are about. It wasn't acceptable by my standards, by any standards, and by, you know. But I must admit, I thought the fans were very, very good to us. They could have turned on us a lot quicker than they did, because you know, I thought that we were poor by our standards, and that's probably the poorest I've seen us at Meadow Lane since I've been here, which is a major statement. So for me, we've got to get it right and quickly, and I'm confident that I can do that.
You'll see the reaction of the players obviously on the pitch in the next game, but have you been happy with the reaction you've had from your players when you've been having those discussions off the pitch?
Definitely, because they're all saying the right things. They all want to do the right things. They all love playing for this club. They wanna be successful. They want to do well in this league, and they were hurt. You know, they were hurt as much as everybody who was involved in this football club, as well as the fans. You know, we don't go away and just think, yeah, it's over now. We've just been done 4-0. Move on to the next one. No, we've had to carry it for 4 days, as well as them fans, and we're hoping now that we can turn them frowns upside down, as they say, and get them back smiling again. Because, you know, we all know how much it means when you win a game. Everything just seems much happier when you wake up in the morning. It's been tough getting, you know, for myself, trying to get to bed and get to sleep first and foremost, and then second of all, trying to get out of bed, because you're thinking, oh, you know, we've got this to face today. Because as I said, when you have a defeat like that, and I've been there many a time, you know, you feel like the world's against you. But it's about me making sure that we keep this positive environment and we keep smiles on faces and we keep, because if you sort of, you know, take away the environment, what we've been used to in the 18 months, people then start to question you, and I'm not one. I believe in what I'm doing here. I believe in the process of what we're trying to do, and we've had a massive transition, and I'm not going to hide behind that, because it's what we wanted. It was always going to take time. I knew that, but you know, again, I didn't expect what happened on Friday night. So that's, you know, that's on us. That's on us completely. For me, it's about making sure we get it right and quicker, more quicker now than ever. And I'm very confident we will.
The loan window's still open. Does what happened on Friday night make you more inclined to look to bring in some more reinforcements if you can, indeed?
Well, I've said if the, you know, special ones come up, we will do. I don't think it changes dramatically. I think we have, you know, we're quite, you know, not weak, but we're low in certain areas of the field. So if anybody comes up who we think can come in and affect this team and affect this squad, then yeah, we'll be happy to negotiate and open talks. But at this minute in time, I mean, full focus is on Newport, is on my team more than anything, because at this moment in time we're not doing what we're supposed to do. We're not being Notts County. We're not giving. We're giving everything too easy to the opposition, and that's not us. Ever since I've come in, we've not give anyone away. We've been sluggish and we've been poor in games, but we haven't just gifted the game to a team so easily and made it so easy for them to play against us. So first and foremost, we've got to get back to us, and that's what we've been concentrating on over the last 3 days.
Is it steel? Is that what's missing? That sort of fight, steeliness, determination, Kevin Nolan-ness, if you like.
Well, yeah, I mean, some people, yeah, I've said that, but I think, you know, these lads have got a bit about them. I think what they did, they let themselves down individually because they didn't sort it out on the pitch. You know, they let themselves sort of, you know, well, they didn't give themselves a chance. You know, and when the chips are down, when everything's going wrong, when you're under a bit of pressure, the thing is, you want to look next year and see your mate next year, and at that point, I don't think anybody could say that they had a mate next to them. They were because we were so stretched. So hopefully, we're going to start seeing that. We're going to see people pushing and pulling people along. But you know, you have to respect your teammate, but you'll also be able to tell them. And I don't think that's what happened. I don't think that happened a lot on Friday. And you know, we've had them discussions individually with all of the players who played on Friday, and collectively too. So they all know exactly what they want going forward, you know, because they're the ones who are leading it, and what we've got to do is we've got to give them the tools to go and do it, and that's hopefully what we're going to do in the coming weeks. We've got 2 real tough away games coming up, but first and foremost Newport, you know, where we've not been, you know, we're not at the best of times. Always a tough ground to go. You know, Flinney's got them well organised, really good home side. So it's another tough tie. So what we've got to do is just make sure that we're ready. We go there and we're up for the fight first and foremost, and then hopefully, you know, the quality of my players will shine through.
On a more positive note, my mind goes back to the very first day of last season and a bit of a hiding at Coventry, and you soon turned that round. And it, you know, one result. I suppose my point is, one result doesn't make a bad season, if you like. You can turn this round. Yeah,
but it's football, isn't it? So everyone then just turns on you and starts going, "Oh, he's lost it. He's done this." Listen, I've been in football long enough to know that when you have them sort of type of results, I've been on the end of 5-0, 6-0, and then gone again 4-0. You know, and you're thinking, "Oh Jesus, we're going to have another 4-0 here." But I've been on the opposite end too, where we've gone 5-6 games winning streaks, and you know, you feel like you're invincible and you can do whatever you want and you can beat anybody. So what we've got to do is we've got to slowly claw our way back, because, you know, as I said, we all know that what we seen on Friday were unacceptable by our standards and by anyone's standards, and by the players and the staff and everybody who's connected with the club, because that's not Notts County. That's not what we're about. What we've got to do now is claw our way back to what we are about, and bit by bit we'll get there. And I believe that once we get there, we'll be more than a match for anyone. But it's as I said, it's a process. But hopefully, we're going to start seeing the first part of that process on Tuesday, and it's all positive signs.
Wish you well, Kevin.
Thank you very much, Paul.
Sorry, excuse me. What's the one biggest aspect of the team's performance that you want to see improve tomorrow night?
Well, I want to give us something which we're not conceding 4 and 3 goals like we have in the last 3 games. You know, Colchester, we looked at a real good side, solid, strong, what we're about. Colchester, you know, didn't give away too much. I think they had one chance all game, you know, but we gifted Yeovil, I think, over 20 chances. I'm not too sure because I'm not really a fan of the stats what get put on the thing. We actually have our analysts do our own stats, so we get, you know, real proper stats sent to us. But because we've been talking about us and what we've done, I've not really had the time to sit down, but I know that it'll be above 20 because we were so easily opened up with, and they had plenty of chances, which from our point of view is not acceptable. We can't do that, because if we had 20 chances a game, I'm expecting us to score 3, 4 goals, 5 goals, but they didn't. They got both sides of the game better than us on Friday, and that's why they ran out, you know, easy winners.
And when you spoke about being aggressive and the 50-50s, etc., that I know a lot of people think, well, that's just easy, you just smash people and this, that and the other. But is there a way of being aggressive where you look at your distances, for example, you engage in the press?
Listen, when I say about aggressive, I don't want anyone to go and hurt someone or try and hurt someone. If they do that, then they don't get no respect from me for whatsoever. Listen, I've done some bad things in my career, and as a player I understand that you get frustrated sometimes, so I do have that empathy with people when they do get to that point. But when you're doing it once, twice, 3 times, then I won't have no respect for you. What I mean when I'm saying about aggressiveness is about aggressiveness on a press, making sure you do the right things. Aggressiveness in a tackle, that's what's a 50-50, you coming out of it. When there's 2 players around 1 player, he should not get away from you. All them things, not about, you know, being aggressive in the opposition box, being aggressive in your defensive box, wanting to win others, wanting to put your head on the line, and that's what you want. That's aggressiveness. Aggressiveness of you punching someone or kicking someone up the backside, that's not aggressiveness, that's just stupidity. So for me, yeah, I'm not asking for anyone to do that. I'm asking for people to do what they've done for me since they've walked in the door, and that's where, you know, work the socks off first and foremost, and then let the quality shine through. Because if you do that, you know, I'll have they want most time and they want most respect for you. When you go around kicking people and doing things wrong and that, then, you know, soon will that the respect for me for people will dwindle, certainly in my eyes anyway.
In terms of the goals that you have conceded, I think 6 of them have come from wide areas. Is that something that you have been working on? You'll know better than me. Is that something that you've been working intensively on?
You become stat all of a sudden. Listen, it's a bit. It's there for all to see. You know, it's been tough because we're allowing them to get in them positions quite freely, quite easily, and quite consistently. And that's not good enough. That's not us. We're not stopping crosses. We've got to get there. We've got to stop crosses. We've got to be able to, as I said, get out there on the press, get his head down, do all them things, do all the things which, and no disrespect, but fans don't notice all that type of stuff. But when you do it, because it just, that flies by, that was a good tackle. They notice a good tackle. They notice a good ball. They notice a good goal, great free kick, great corners. But they don't notice all pressing and stuff like that. Or they'll notice a nice press if you win the ball back and you go. And I'm not trying to, say anything about anybody else, but we aren't doing that at the minute. We didn't do that certainly on Friday. We done it against Colchester. We done it in the first half against Cambridge. And then from then on, it just seems like we've just sort of, oh yeah, go on, you have a go at us, we'll have a go at you, you have a go at us, we'll have a go at you. And it hasn't worked, and we can't do that. We can't do that. Not at any level can you do that. And it's quite funny because one of the players sent me a clip of the Manchester City thing. I haven't seen it yet, but he sent me a clip. And it's just what I've been ranting on about for the last 18 months, and Pep Guardiola saying it to his team, which is quite nice, because then obviously they're seeing that I'm actually giving them some good information, because they believe Pep more than they'll believe me, won't they? So yeah, it's great, but it just shows that they're still well drilled, well built into what we're trying to do, and they believe in what we're doing, and they believe in where we're trying to get to and the end goal.
It's interesting you bring me on to Pep Guardiola, because I've watched it and it was fascinating insight. But there's one thing that really struck a chord with me. As good as he is, and the amount of things he's won, he said, "I don't have all the answers." Does it feel like that sometimes as a manager, that sometimes you have to say to your players, "Look, I don't have all the answers. You've got to sometimes take responsibility for yourselves"?
Listen, none of us have all the answers, and especially when you're playing at the top level. Pep. He's been, fantastic manager, but he, you know, he's probably not played at the levels of what them players who he's managing. What he's got them to do is buy into a team and an ethic, and he's not going to always have the answer because he doesn't know how that person's thinking. He can give them something what they want, but it might not be the right one for him or that individual. What we try to do here is to make sure, and what I do is that I try and give them something so that if it's not going so well, they strip themselves back up. You know, I just give them little pointers which can help them get through a game if something's going wrong. And that's what we try and do. We try and give them something which can trigger them. We all want leaders on the pitch. You know, if you've got more leaders you've got on the pitch, the more often you're going to get reactions to going 1-0 down or going 1-0 up, and how do we now react to this or that. And the other night we didn't get a reaction. You know, 2 minutes later we're 2-0 down. You know, that very rarely has that happened since I've been in here. And then, you know, afterwards we're still giving chances away, and good chances at that, where there could have been 3, 4. You know, and you're out of the game. You know, so for me, I don't believe that anybody's got all the answers, and obviously, as you say, Pep will even say that. Sir Alex Ferguson will say that too. You know, the fascinating men, but what they did is they move with the times. They know how to do it. They believe in themselves, and they get that over to the players. And if the players don't come with them, then they're soon gone. And that's what you see. That's why there's always a massive turnaround in them clubs. Unfortunately, we can't do that. We get players in, they've got to buy into us, and if they don't, you know, they don't play as much as what they should have until they do buy into it. But I must admit, all the lads at the moment, they're saying the right things, they're doing the right things, they're buying into what we're doing, and they know that Friday wasn't acceptable on all accounts from all of us. And what we've got to do now is we've got to win everyone back by putting, you know, making the fans proud, making me proud, making us proud, because we've got to put in the performances. We've got to get performances, because if you don't get performances, you don't get the results. And that's why we ran out 4-0 losers on Friday, because we didn't get a performance from a individual or a team. Because when individuals are not playing, you're not going to have 11 players every week playing well, but you can't have 11 players not playing well in one game.
You can get away with 2 or 3.
You can get 2 or 3, and you can maybe get away with 4. But what them 4 have got to do is make sure that they do all the other stuff right, the basics right. Exactly that.
I mean, knowing the players as well as you do, and particularly the ones that have been with you the longest, did you go home on Friday thinking actually that was a bit of a freak result rather than, you know what I mean? You couldn't see it coming. That's what it felt like.
Listen, I didn't see it coming at all. You know, they seemed well on it on Thursday. They seemed ready. They seemed good in the warm up. You know, I always ask Tom when he comes in, what do you like? He said, yeah, they were on it. You know, questions, because you could always tell you have that little zippiness about you. And then obviously come out first 15-20 minutes, done okay. Everyone's saying we played really well. We played some nice stuff, don't get me wrong, but we didn't put them under real pressure as well. I would have liked when we're doing that. And we gifted them chances in that 15-20 minutes. We were quite lucky not to be 1-0 down earlier on. So for me, we've recognised that what we feel it was the main reason for that. And hopefully they'll get it, and we'll see a massive. I want a massive improvement on Friday night performance, and if I get that, I'll be very pleased come Tuesday evening.
Final question, just injuries. Ben Hall, Matt Tuchel, is he out injured or?
Yeah, Matt Tuchel, he's just got a problem with his toe. It was obviously evident in the Cambridge game where he was struggling a bit. You know, he feels really uncomfortable there. We're just trying to get down to the bottom of it, what it actually is at the minute. But it's settled loads down because we've given him a few days off and kept him out of the boot and stopped him kicking balls. Ben Hall, he's still feeling tender in his groins and stuff. So it's just about managing him and making sure we try and get him pain free, really, because you know it is affecting these lads. You know, as much as you say, you know, you want to play in these little niggling things, when it's not going so well, they feel so big, and after games it hurts a bit more. When you're on a winning streak and you're running, them little things they don't feel as bad, you know, because you're riding that crest of the wave. Listen, this has been, a very average start from our point of view into the season. But we've got lots and lots of time to make sure that we get it right. But what we can't do is just start dwindling games away. What we've got to do is make sure that we're ready for the next one and the next one and the next one, and we will be. and because I believe in my staff, I believe in these players, and I believe in myself, which is the most important thing, and I believe we'll get it right.